Okay, so let's listen to a hate-motivated violent assault that occurred last Thursday, June the 12th, at around 11 o'clock in the morning.
Victoria? Victoria, it's Leanne with the Saanich Police. Can you open the door, please? Victoria, it's Leanne with the Saanich Police. Can you come to the door, please? Victoria, it's Leanne with the Saanich Police. You need to come to the door or we will be opening the door ourselves, okay?
No, you won't. That's a break and enter. You don't have authority to open the door.
Thank you for responding.
No, we're sorry.
So we will be coming in to arrest you.
No.
We're going to do this the easiest way by you just simply opening the door.
No, I'm sorry. You do not have a warrant. You do not have a cause of action. You have no authority. You are causing me to be in fear of my life, of harm and injury. You, for some reason, believe that you have authority that you don't have. You have no right. You have no right. Your warrant is of no force or effect.
Yeah, it's what's called a Feeney warrant. So we can enter to put you under arrest, and that's what we are here to do today.
I am a harm to no one. I am a harm to absolutely no one. I'm not a harm to myself. I'm not a harm to others. I have not caused loss, harm, or injury to any person nor to property, but we do know who has caused loss, harm, and injury to property, and that is...
Have a look through your people, and I can show you the warrant.
I tell you what you did. You went and covered up the peephole because you are dangerous offenders.
I am not.
You are dangerous offenders. You are gaslighting me. You have...
The warrant if you want to look through your...
Listen to me very carefully. Canada is ruled by the law of consent, right? That's the supreme law of Canada. You can't get around the law of consent. Now, if I don't consent to open this door and you go ahead and commit that crime, you are the ones who are going to be charged and you are the ones who are going to go to jail.
Victoria, can you listen to me now for a
No, I will not listen to me. I have been listening to you and your pathological lying buddies for years. Every time I report a crime against myself and my family, this is exactly the result, because for some reason you all suffer from a mental malfunction that you believe you can cause others
Victoria,
harm and injury, and that's what you're doing to me.
that we have consent, but we do by a judge.
You don't, that doesn't give you consent.
Enter your suite to arrest
That
you today.
does not give you consent. Whoever that is not a judge, and it's an administrative clerk. They have no first-hand knowledge of what's going on here. So you continue to identify yourself as police, Saanich Police. Well, I identify as a foreign diplomat, which is the law of self-determination. Have you heard of the law of self-determination? So if I have the law of self-determination and I know my rights, and I do, and I will be exercising my rights today to let you know that your warrant is canceled. I'm canceling it to you verbally right now. I will not be subjected to your torture. You're going to kidnap me, unlawfully confine me. You're going to subject me to service. That's kidnapping. That's kidnapping. That's what you're trying to do. You're trying to kidnap me. You're trying to cause me loss, harm, and injury, which is illegal.
So we can talk about...
Do you understand what illegal means? Do you understand what illegal is? Do you understand that you're committing a crime? Do you understand that you need my consent for anything and everything that you are doing?
Victoria, I have to respectfully disagree with what you're saying.
I don't care if you respectfully disagree. That is the law. The supreme law of Canada is the law of consent. That's the rule of law.
We aren't going to leave
That is the rule of law.
Okay, but this warrant here allows us to enter the suite and arrest you, so that will be happening today.
But it actually doesn't give you that right, because you would need my consent to have that right.
So you have a decision that you are going to.
So you personally then are claiming that I have caused you loss, harm, and injury, because you are going to need to read from me right now the sworn affidavit of whoever is pretending to be Saanich police that I have caused them loss, harm, and injury. You need to get me that affidavit.
In my hand that I'm willing to give to you.
So who of you?
Do you want to open your door slightly and I can give you, just slide a copy of the warrant through, and then you can.
Wow, you actually think I'm that stupid? You actually think that I'm that
I
stupid?
don't think you're stupid at all, Victoria.
You absolutely do. That's why we're here at the door. Now you're committing the crime of common nuisance. You're disturbing the peace. You're disturbing the peace. You're committing the crime of common nuisance. You're trespassing because I have not given you consent to come and speak to me.
Victoria.
I have not given you consent to come and knock on the door. The door is clearly marked do not disturb. The door is clearly marked do not disturb. So what you did was you came up to a door clearly marked do not disturb. You're disturbing my peace. You're causing me to be in fear of actually losing my life, because I know that that's what you continually need to do, because I continually speak up about your corruption. You're corrupt. So because you're corrupt, you have no standing in this matter. Take the tape off the people right now. Take the tape off the people right now and stop it. Don't you touch me. You do not have my consent to touch me. You do not have consent to open this door. You don't have that consent to open this door. You are breaching you will be doing a break and enter. Get away from me. Don't, no. Well, if that doesn't make you sick to your stomach, you better go and fucking check your pulse, because you're dead. So here's what we know. Here's the truth. The wicked will never understand, nor do they care to understand. So accustomed to doing evil, it's impossible for evildoers to do good, as written. 2 acts of genocide intended to murder my family in less than a decade. Each savage involved sentenced to spend eternity, and you know where. Well, blasphemy is unforgivable. Right, so here's what happened. So we can hear that this has been, this is 8:12 p.m. So last Thursday for 12 hours, this woman, who is an actual foreign diplomat, like, we're not going to get around the truth. There's no way to get around it. There's pathogens all over Canada here identifying as politicians, and who gave them that right? That's the right to self-determination. They have determined themselves to be these pathogens, just like these policy enforcers. Another pathogen, a viroid. Have you checked these out? These conditions. You. Condition number 1. Condition number 3. You. And 4. Again, you. Condition number 5. You. Condition number 6 is absolutely fucking hilarious. You must attend each court appearance unless this court excuses you. Really? Well, who the fuck is you? This foreign diplomat doesn't identify our answer to you. Condition number 6. Who is this court? How does a legal fiction, which is dead, therefore it's got no brain, it's got no mouth, it's got no heart, have authority and jurisdiction to excuse you? You must attend is only enforceable with the expressed written consent of this woman, who is a foreign diplomat. Okay. Yeah, that's right. This is on June the 12th. Being forced after being fucking threatened repeatedly and consistently by 3. There was 3 of them, 2 males and a female. Intimidating, using coercive control, frightening this woman to be in fear for her life. So what does the conditions, right? That's a contract. They're trying to contract with a foreign diplomat because they need to cover up their corruption. And that's why they continue to commit war crimes against this woman. Well, it's quite clear what it says here. It says vico actus, under duress, and it says void. That's what it says. Signature of accused. Well, this woman doesn't identify as the accused. She will never take one of your toxic fucking theater troll roles. We don't play these sick little fucking games with you vagrants who believe that you have authority that you do not fucking have. You never have had. You're sick in the head. You're suffering from some type of fucking psychosis. You need help. You need to stop and seek professional help. You have no authority at all. Because here's what we know about... They can't. You cannot be representing Canada. You cannot be representing the province of British Columbia. You cannot be representing the Crown. Those are corporations. And corporations cannot lawfully engage in the practice of law. And nor can you do so indirectly through the employment of fucking qualified liars. You cannot. You don't have that fucking right. Oh, so here we go. So this is a fucking repeat high-risk offender. This thing is a danger to everyone around it, and it's a danger to itself because it's suffering from, it's like a sociopath. This thing says to me, after it kidnaps me, unfortunately this thing is talking to me, so it's got me unlawfully confined in its fucking monstromobile. It's go-go gadget mobile. And of course, there's no fucking way this woman is going to... This woman is not going to stay silent while you torture her. So this thing says to this woman, be quiet, like, shut up. Shut up, I don't want to hear it. Oh, puke, you will hear it. And you're going to continue to fucking hear it. And then this thing assaults me when it gets its fucking maggot mobile parked. Right? Because they wouldn't allow me to put shoes on. And then this fucking puke tries to have me face the corner of the elevator? No, puke. No. Foreign diplomats don't fucking stand in the corner because some fucking maggot dressed like a witch thinks it has the right to degrade and defile and humiliate a woman that you fucking clearly fucking hate. Because she knows not only who you are, but what the fuck you are. And then it gets even worse. You're not going to fucking believe this, but you can guarantee this woman does not tell lies. I am not permitted to tell lies, or I can't fucking hold the seat of a foreign diplomat. I can't hold the office of a foreign diplomat. I am not permitted to lie. So this is exactly what this fucking puke says to me. I am the law. Yeah, let's just take a second to digest that. I am the law. That's what it fucking figures. Really? Uh-huh, okay. Well, that's a lie. You are not the law. You are the lawless. So right there we know that you're a sociopath and you're unfit for public service and your employment has to be terminated immediately. Like, you're seriously fucking sick. And then I have to explain, well, the last warrant that you figured you had, which was not issued by an administrative clerk, like that witch at the door claimed, These are pathological liars we're dealing with here. Pathological liars. That's their native language, to pathologically lie. So I said, well, I sent you an email. So you would be informed, right? Through correspondence, written correspondence, since all the rules that you have to fucking follow are written down for you. You were informed via email that the warrant that you unlawfully obtained on December the 19th, 2024 is canceled. And you know what the puke says to me? Well, I blocked your email. Okay, no, you wouldn't have been able to block your email because that was the first time you ever received an email from this woman from that email address. You had fucking sent a threat and a fucking menace to another email address that there was a warrant for this woman's arrest. Which there couldn't have been because you have been consistently and repeatedly fucking informed of why this woman holds lawful reasons why she will not comply. That's what this thing really is. This thing, check this out. Okay, so you see that in the shaded area there? Up on the top, you see that driver's license number? Well, we have no idea who that driver's license number belongs to because that's not the driver's license number of the foreign diplomat who's being accused of violating an act, and an act is not a law, it's a guideline. It's a guideline. That's not law. That doesn't apply to this foreign diplomat. Alleged offender. Now, do you have any idea that this is like a negotiable instrument, and they have this corporation, British Columbia here, has made, well, how much have they made off of this? How much revenue has been generated from this fucking extortion attempt? Shaded areas of this ticket are not part of the ticket of the offense charged. Really? So the fucking false accuser, which is Nick Murray, is not part of the offense charged? And the alleged driver, the alleged female, is not part of this ticket? So what the fuck is going on here? You see, because the dead can only deal with its own kind. The dead can only deal with the dead. A corporation can only deal with a corporation. A person can only deal with a person. The brainless can only deal with the fucking brainless. That's why your surname is recorded. And then your first name, right? Because you are assumed to be, it's assumption and presumption. They're assuming and presuming that you are surety for their fucking theft. Well, it's just outrageous to the standard of decency, behavior, and conduct by these fucking pukes acting as the cabal there, the pathogen Saanich Police Department. Well, so the conditions, right, that they have fucking gone ahead and are trying to force onto this woman. Well, see, that was the whole deal. That was the whole conversation that went down for 45 minutes on Thursday evening. That there was intimidation going on. Everyone is guilty of an indictable offense and liable to imprisonment for a term of not more than 5 years, or who is guilty of an offense punishable on summary conviction, who wrongfully and without a lawful authority, for the purpose of compelling another person to abstain from doing anything that he or she has the lawful right to do, or to do anything that he or she has the lawful right to abstain from doing, uses violence or threats of violence on that person, intimidates or attempts to intimidate that person, by threats of violence or other injury will be done or punishment inflicted upon, the victim of their fucking crimes, or that property of any of them will be damaged. Persistently follows, hides tools, clothes, or other property owned or used, or deprives these victims or hinders them from using them. So on August the 29th, we've got multiple go-go gadget mobiles blocking and obstructing the highway around Jack and Victoria's home because they're going to intimidate Victoria and have been for years, so she can't go then and do what she has to do. And it just happened again on Thursday fucking evening, where Victoria is being intimidated. Well, we saw the conditions, didn't we? Victoria can't go near her family's home to do what she has to do because the land and the home have been stolen by fraud closure. Oh, extortion. Well, right, $500. Again, that money is now created. That's how money gets created. That $500 doesn't exist until it's written on that piece of paper. And now the province of British Columbia has just made another $500. That's how they generate close to $100 billion a year in revenue. This corporation acting as the province of British Columbia. Extortion. Everyone commits extortion who, without reasonable justification or excuse, and with intent to obtain anything by threats, accusations, menaces, or violence, induces or attempts to induce men or women, threatened, accused, or menaced, or to whom violence is shown, to do anything or cause anything to be done. Well, that's what was happening for months with Donna Fraser here from West Shore ULOC, after Victoria informed Donna that Victoria, as the trustee of the property inside that space, has to waive the claim that you believe that you're owed a storage locker fee because Victoria can't live like this anymore. My life is being threatened and being destroyed because of all of this, which is the absolute fucking intent. That's the foundation of why they're doing this. And then Donna then continually, repeatedly tortures this woman, sends threats through the mail, extortion. And so Victoria has been tortured every day for months by this Donna Fraser acting as West Shore ULOC. After Victoria told her, if you go ahead and commit that crime and you breach that fucking door, they wouldn't know what any of that property means. They wouldn't know the value, that it's heirloom property, that if you fucking touch any of it, you've committed an act of vandalism against every piece of property in that locker that doesn't belong to you and never did and never will, because you're not the beneficial owner of the property. But, a monster does what a monster wants to do, because they're monsters. They're monsters. Natural law. That's right, eye for eye, tooth for tooth. Earlier in time, stronger in the law maxims, you can't get around them. That's why they all fucking know that the natural law is the only law. There is nothing else. That's what rules the world, and it always will, and it always has. They hate that. Because legal has nothing to do with law. Nothing to do with it. And now, because they wouldn't let this woman take over her family's property, this is exactly what's going on here. Victims of crime are the high... Well, because, let's see here. We've sent a message to West Shore ULOC Tuesday at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Thank you for your message. Please be advised that we will not be responding to any emails or text messages regarding, well, because I had to call the West Shore RCMP, right, and report the crime. Any communication regarding the matter is going to be directly solely to the West Shore RCMP, should they request it. You stole and sold property without consent of the true owner after being spoken to repeatedly, educated in the highest rights to protect life and to protect property. A third party has no first-hand knowledge of this matter, but we certainly know who does. Refusing to respond is not only unprofessional, it's obstruction of justice, malice, disturbing the peace, intentional infliction of emotional distress, causing irreparable harm. And that's exactly what they've done. Right? Because, I mean, they're all the same. They've now converted property that doesn't belong to them. And it looks like we've got some kind of a... And now we've got a message here from an individual acting as West Shore RCMP. Upon reviewing the video, I have concluded it's a civil matter. The storage company auctioning off your belongings is a result of failed payment as agreed upon by the contract that you signed. It doesn't see criminal aspect to the complaint. Well, it's not a complaint, it's a claim. You go through the civil court for this matter. The case will be concluded. So once again, we have been lied to, refused service, right, by persons who are supposed to be protecting property. There will be no help, as we can see here. And this is what happens every single time. And so they did fucking completely destroy everything in that locker, all the heirloom property that can never be replaced. We're talking about gifts that had been given to me by my Nana and Papa, Juliette Bombardier, victim of a negligent homicide. The ring my Papa gave me, all of my baby's belongings, all of Jack and I's belongings, Jack ever gave to me. And you see, so these criminals acting as West Shore ULOC have quite obviously been into contact with these. So now what this Constable Lee has done is it's aiding and abetting. Criminal code offenses, it's obstructing justice and refusing service, which is fraud. And so we knew by calling them that this is exactly how they would act, because this is exactly who they are. So now what they've done is they have aided and abetted trafficking in stolen property and refusing to do an investigation into criminal activity, one of which is torture. There was no fucking failure to pay. We explained to them repeatedly why there would be no further payments coming, because Victoria has the right to waive any claim, because that was all in trust property. So this Constable Lee then doesn't have a fucking clue what a trust is or how a trust operates, or that you can't go around stealing property of a trust and then converting it to your own use, because Donna Fraser is not the beneficial owner of any of the property in the locker, and neither did Jack or Victoria provide for Donna Fraser. Well, that's Jack's estate and it's my estate. Everything in that locker. All of the paperwork couldn't be thrown out. And this is what they've done, because this is who they are. And they knew, oh, you go through the civil court system. Well, actually, Victoria has the right to lay the charges herself, and it's pretty obvious that's what she's going to do, because now we know that these persons acting as West Shore RCMP are now aiding and abetting others who are in possession of property obtained by crime, trafficking in stolen property. That's what they've done. And this, listen, we're not. And here's the other thing. This Constable Lee reviewed nothing. It reviewed nothing. It didn't do a fucking investigation at all. And we know from the Canadian Victims' Bill of Rights Act that they are bound to, that once a crime is reported, they have to do a full and complete investigation. And they've refused. We just have it right here. Here it is right here. So every single day, I am being fucking tortured by the thought that these savages, these monsters, and there were signs all along the way, because Victoria didn't put her and Jack's estate in that space. That was the criminals who fucking stole Jack and Victoria's land and home. I mean, how many times do they need to be told the truth and taught the law?